I'm Maddie Lee, coming to you from Vivint Smart Home Arena in Utah, where the Thunder has just lost to the Jazz in the season opener 100-95. A lot of surprises all around. First of all, that it was that close of a game. The Jazz is considered a contender this year, whereas the Thunder, as we well know, is not, after all the movement that happened this summer with, as I'm sure I don't have to remind you, Russell Westbrook and Paul George being traded away. So tonight, for them to keep this game that close is overall a positive. But there were a lot of very sloppy points for both teams. You had the first quarter, the Thunder only made 2 of its first 11 shots, got down by almost half of Utah's, scored almost half of the points that Utah scored in that first quarter. Really sloppy offensive game. But then, in the second quarter, you saw a little change of, you had Billy Donovan starting a lineup that had Mike Muscala at the 5 and Darius Bazley at the 4. And so Muscala, and he missed the threes that he took, but he was able to stretch the floor by being a threat on the perimeter. And the Thunder started getting rolling and got back into this game, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the second and third quarters went off. He went on several scoring sprees. He ended the night with 26 points, which is a career high for him. So big night for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You had a solid performance from Chris Paul, who, you know, as we know, is a great floor general, and he really showed those skills tonight. Not a great performance from Steven Adams, who finished the night with only 3 points, and it took until very late in the game for him to even get those 3 points. He looked surprisingly lost, and this was going to be, expected to be a marquee matchup between him and Rudy Gobert, and usually is. But tonight, Steven Adams did not play much of that first half. He had less than 10 minutes on the floor in the first half. Second half, he played more, but like I said, not as much of an offensive threat, although he did grab double-digit rebounds tonight. So a lot of performances all over the place, a lot for the Thunder to still iron out, but the positives are that they, even after falling behind by so much in the first quarter, were able to scratch and claw and bring themselves back into this game and, iron out. They had some defensive breakdowns towards the end, right down the stretch, which ended up ultimately costing them the game. But overall, defensively, we're able to limit Rudy Gobert, which was a big key to tonight, even though the Jazz were able to pull it out in the end. Next, Thunder head home and have their home opener against Washington on Friday. So we will be back with you then.